let's talk about the LP5X. Thought I would start the review talking about the cartridge issue and the channel imbalance issue I was having. And I switched out and I went and bought the Concord Music Red from Ortophone. Now it is a new cartridge. It's a part of a new series that they have that is basically the 2M series, but in a Concord body style. And I've been very happy with it. I've been running it now for what, a week and a half, and been playing for a few hours each day, and it's been a phenomenal cartridge. Really, truly, it's exceeded expectations, and most importantly, it has eliminated that channel imbalance issue I had. I know people commented on that video, which I'll link down below in the description, but they commented and they said, well, maybe it's anti-skate, maybe it's increasing tracking force, or you know, maybe this, maybe that. Well, I tried it all, and I'm very familiar with setting up turntables. I even have a test disc down here, Hi-Fi News test record, which I use when setting up cartridges, and you know, still had that issue regardless of how perfect the VM95E that it comes with was set up. But again, as soon as I installed the Concord Music Red, it eliminated that issue entirely. So it was definitely this cartridge. And by the way, looking at Google, looking around the internet, I have found that people have had issues with the newer VM series of cartridges, not just the 95E, but also, what is it, the 95C, which is the conical one, and of course the more upper lines like the ML as well, which is the micro line, and people have had issues with them. So I wonder if it's just something where they're having quality control issues with these and it's producing problems. And truthfully as well, I also tend to be fairly nitpicky with my hi-fi, particularly my vinyl setups. So maybe somebody who got this wouldn't notice it, but I definitely did. Anyway, first off, I wanted to talk about the stability of it and kind of the build quality. And the build quality is pretty good. I think for $500, I have felt better turntables. But most importantly to me is the stability. I hate a product that you use and you plug it in and there's a problem with it. But then after a couple days, the problem goes away, and then a few more days, another problem creeps up, or the original problem comes back. This one, no, the entire month I've had it, from the moment I plugged it in to right now, every time I hit the switch to turn it on, it just functions and performs flawlessly. And it works and plays music and works exactly how it should without any problems. And I like that. And I imagine most people like that, especially when spending $500 on a product. You expect it to perform and work like it's supposed to and not have any issues. One particular thing I like about it is the speed. This thing gets up to speed quick, just like a lot of direct drives. There's no having to wait for it or a few seconds. Bam, as soon as you hit 33 or 45 or 78, which it does have 78, it gets right up to speed and it works well. But again, more importantly, that stability of the product in terms of usage and everyday kind of playing around with it, it just functions, which is fantastic. From a sound quality perspective, I think I wanted to kind of talk about my experience with direct drives first and kind of juxtapose that with my experience with belt drives, and then of course that'll lead us into this. And anyway, my experience with direct drives primarily comes from Technics, older Technics. I've had a couple Mark IIs, SL1200 Mark IIs. I had an SL1300 at one point. I had an older SL1500, not the new one, but the older one. Had one of those at one point. Had a Yamaha direct drive as well at one point. I can't remember the model. And anyway, they all perform well, but I always got the impression that they were always lacking something. And it wasn't until I switched to using direct drives like Projects, Regas, and of course my Marantz turntable, which I don't have currently set up. But switching to belt drives, I realized that they have a better sense of drive to the music, a better sense of sort of pace and rhythm, and also a better tone in the mid, especially in the mid-range, but a whole better tone overall. You get a better sense of the characteristics, sort of those colors of music, much better with belt drive than what I've experienced priorly with direct drive. And it wasn't until getting this, and I kind of came at it when I ordered it, I got it in, set it up and everything. I kind of came at it from a fresh perspective. I tend to do that with my hi-fi products without bias or it's going to work or sound a certain way. I do that because you never know. It's best to give things a fair shake, and you never know, things might surprise you. But anyway, it really surprised me in the sense that it does everything well, just like those older direct drives I've had. It functions great, no problems, and it just does the business, goes about its business of playing records and making music. But unlike the older direct drives, I don't get the impression that it's missing anything. It has great rhythm, great pace and timing, great sense of flow and drive to the music. I don't feel it's missing anything there. I also don't feel that it's missing anything in terms of tonal colors and sort of the inflections of music. I don't feel like it's missing anything. It has great soundstage width, left to right separation is really, really nice. You know, overall, it just goes about its business and plays music, but it does it without sacrificing anything and works well. And that's either with the Concord Music Red or, of course, the VM95E that it comes with. I noticed that both. Technically, the Concord has a little bit of a lighter tonal balance, or I should say more of a even kill type tone, more of a balanced sound versus the VM95E. But overall, either way, it just goes about its business flawlessly and without any issues. And it just enjoys music and just allows you to enjoy music. That leads into the final thoughts, which is it's a great turntable. It really is. I think for $500, this is going to be my new recommendation to people that ask me about turntables through my YouTube channel, but also friends and family and people I work with. They know I'm into hi-fi. They know I've got this stuff. And they ask me occasionally, I have people ask me, hey, you know, my cousin is talking about a turntable. What do you think you should get? And this thing has been faultless. It works well. It produces great sound. Build quality is good. It really is a perfect package for $500, and even the built-in phono stage works well and functions great. Now, I didn't really talk about it a whole lot because I typically bypass them, but I did try it out. And is it the best phono stage in the world? No. But in terms of being coupled with the VM95E, it produces a satisfactory result. And that's what we have to think about here is I read so much stuff on Instagram, on YouTube, people making videos about turntables, and sometimes I think people miss the point with these products. And not just turntables though, but other things too, but I really think sometimes people miss the point. Somebody will do a review of a basic turntable, like one of the basic, you know, what is it, the AT60 or the AT-LP5X, little basic Bluetooth turntable, and they'll say something along the lines of, oh, well, you know, for only $100 more, you can get this, and it's so much better. It's so much more audiophile. Well, yes, that's true. No disagreement there. But sometimes people just want something they can plug in. They don't have to worry about balancing the arm or making sure the cartridge is straight in the head shell or properly aligned or any of that crap. They just want to plug it into a Bluetooth speaker or an aux jack and something, and plop on a record and hit start in the case of the LP60 and have it play music and have it function. And those turntables do that. This turntable does that, with the exception of it doesn't have it's not automatic. But it just goes about its business and it works and functions great, whether that be how it is or even the built-in phono preamp. It all just works and functions well. And as I said, it's definitely going to be my recommendation from now on, and I definitely give it 2 thumbs up.